Peter and Julie.
What's up, everybody? So glad to have you guys this evening.
Totally. We got a bunch of people popping on, so we're going to give everybody a couple minutes to get on. Gosh, Julie, when was the last time we did this together? Seems like it's been a month or two, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been about a month, I would think.
Yeah. But the topic tonight is important enough that we both wanted to be here and address and kind of give our opinions and some facts behind the opinions of what's taking place out there. So we got some great stuff, but we're so glad you're on. Julie, is this usually the time where you say, tell us where you're from?
Yes, exactly. Because one thing I love is I love to hear where everybody's from. And we joke around about like having a map, but it was funny. I was in Florida last week and I went to a restaurant and they had these little pins where like, if you visit the restaurant, you put a pin where you're from, and it reminded me of this again. So, but what's up, James from Portland, Oregon, Gloria from North Carolina. Let's see here. Myron from Cincinnati, Ohio, Cannondale, Texas, Joe from Long Beach, California, Amos from, I think it's Dallas, Greenville, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Casper, Wyoming. Judy, what's up? I don't know that I've seen Casper, Wyoming yet. Ernest from Richmond, Virginia, Indiana, Houston, Texas. My goodness, thank you guys so much. I love to hear where everybody's from. Chi-Town, Chicago from Miss Regina. We got Florida. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I absolutely love Louisiana. It's one of my absolute favorite states. Actually, I did a lot of work in Baton Rouge. I used to be in the trucking industry, and a lot of the routes that we ran came out of Baton Rouge.
Isn't that where Brian's from, or no?
Right. My husband actually is a little north of Baton Rouge, from a small town called Krotz Springs, which is like, you know, not a town most people know in Louisiana, but that's where he's from. Let's see. Marty from Boise, Idaho. Keith from Bend, Oregon. St. Augustine, Florida. Love St. Augustine. Let's see here. Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. North Carolina, absolutely. Jim Brown from Dahlonega, Georgia. I know Jim, by the way. He lives down the road from me. That's where I'm from, and where I live is Dahlonega, Georgia, which is in the North Georgia mountains. Peter, you're in Atlanta, right? Do you have an Atlanta address or a Marietta address?
No, I actually do have. We're actually the little town here is called Vinings, but it is part of Atlanta, and I'm like literally looking outside right now, and I don't know how it is where you are, but it is like pitch black. It is like ready to start pouring. We're actually had a call with one of our partners today, and boom, he like got hit with lightning and all the power outage, and Roth is just like half an hour from me, so I wonder if that rain is now heading this way. But
who knows? I was glad to miss it though.
Yeah,
It rained crazy last night. Bentonville, Arkansas. Millionaire City, California. Is that a real city, Thomas? Does anybody know? Or are you joking with me, Thomas?
What's it called? Millionaire City, California. I don't know. I think that's that's a made up. I think that's a mindset, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron from Tampa, Florida. Love.
I think we're getting close to one of my kind of weird goals of having every state represented on one of these Tuesday night calls. I mean, my goodness, you sure are calling out a lot of places, a lot of areas today. All right, guys, we're going to begin starting here in just in a minute or so. We appreciate you all logging on, and we're going to do the State of the Union today, State of the Real Estate Union. So we are glad that you guys are here. We are going to get rolling shortly. Guys, I'm telling you, this is a good time to have people that might be in your world, and they're like, well, why are you in real estate right now? Do you want to be in do you need to be in real estate right now? This is a good time to let them know about this. because we're going to give it to you guys straight up. I mean, Julie and I are every day hitting it. We are, you know, if anybody is in the real estate business, it is us. And we have a unique advantage that we're in it literally pretty much across the United States. So, you know, not that we know it all or claim to know it all, but we got a good eye for what's taking place, what the realities are. So if you got some people in your world that are maybe doubting you or saying, why are you in this business? Or maybe you yourself aren't even sure, like, is this the time to do it? Maybe your husband is questioning you. Maybe your wife's not. For certain guys, get them to dial in. We're going to just let you know what we're seeing and kind of what we, you know, very strongly feel the reality of the situation is. And it's good to know, because I figured one thing that everybody here tonight has in common is this is our industry, right? There's many different people of different backgrounds, different geographies, different. But the one bond we all have here today is the bond of real estate. And that is exactly what we're going to be hitting today. So we are super duper glad you're here. Going to get started here in just a minute. We've got a lot of people on. Very, very exciting. It's very exciting for Julie and I when this happens. And literally, like that question I asked a couple of minutes ago when we started, I think it's been over 2 months since you and I both did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and used to back in the day, like last year, right? You and I did these together all the time. But there's so many cool things going on that we've got to have other people on doing other different things, which is great, you know. And there's just so much to share right now with everybody, and so many successes that, you know, that kind of outweighs everything, in my opinion. So, you know, whatever we can do to reach out to others to let them know what's working for us, that's what we're always going to put on Tuesday night, because, you know, really my goal is, number one, you know, one thing about me is obviously I love to make money, but number two, I love to help people. Not just people like you. I love to help sellers. I call myself a little bit of a problem solver. And, you know, I feel like whenever you set your business up like that, then that's when you're able to succeed. And
I'm doing something weird, and it's funny that we're talking about real estate, but the reason I'm heading from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor, even though I'm in real estate, I don't understand how to use my air conditioning thermostat. And somehow I got it set on on a program, and I can't figure it out. So it is so hot up there. I'm going to go to the 3rd floor here. See, that gives somebody confidence, right? You could be in real estate and like totally not understand a lot of stuff.
Well, there's nothing worse than burning up. I know, I hate that.
Man, you and I both.
I know when I came home from my trip to Florida last week, I came home and my air conditioner was broke.
Ugh.
And I literally was like, I'm going to have to go to a hotel. And I'm like, Julie, you're better than this. Just stick it out. Wait for it to get fixed, which I did.
All right, well, listen, it's that time. Let's get rolling. Let's get started. Well, first of all, guys, thank you for being here tonight. You know, one of the things Julie and I try to do on these Tuesday night calls, whether we do them together or separately, or sometimes one of our partners pitch hits, we try to provide some value to you guys. And we do it in various ways. You know, sometimes we tell stories, just kind of stories of like our past, our history. Sometimes we have partners on, and those are always, you know, those are, I think, are our favorite most of the time, because, you know, we're sharing real life partners doing real life deals and real life struggles and, you know, real life challenges. And we just, you know, we love doing those. Sometimes we have teaching things, like Julie and I are teaching. As a matter of fact, I think last time Julie and I did this together, we were teaching. I think we were doing contracts or something like that. Mm-hmm. But today we're going to kind of take an all-encompassing view. We're going to look at, you know, what we feel like is the state of the union of real estate industry right now. I mean, what is taking place? I mean, you'd have to be like living outside the earth right now not to know that there's been like things have been flipped upside down in the last couple months. So when things like that happen, you know, you have to take a big picture view, and then you have to take a microscopic view of how it's not only the big picture of what's taking place, but how specifically it's affecting you. So today we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk to you guys from our perspective. You know, we're not going to sit here and tell you this is how it is for you and this is yours. We're not here to do that. We're going to tell you how it is from our end. And our end is a unique end. You know, we invest all over the United States. You know, I just literally got done, and I took a picture of it, I think. I just literally got done. Here it is. Signing some HUDs. This is a HUD. I had the notary come to my house on a deal we closed on the West Coast. You know, here, Julie and I are on the East Coast. So we do deals all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. And so we have a very unique perspective on this industry. And guys, we're not here to sugarcoat things either. We're not here just to tell you, oh, there's nothing happening out there. You know, it's just, you know, everything is the same. That's not our goal today. Our goal today is just tell you what it is that we're seeing. But most importantly, I think above anything else, we want to give you some answers. Like, how are we navigating through this? Because we are, you know, we made a decision here when the pandemic hit, you know, it's been, I guess, 3 or 4 months ago, that we were not going to slow down. I mean, we got together, you know, Julie, myself, Rafa, we got together because back then everybody, you know, all the people in any industry were getting together, kind of the owners or leaders of anything. And I don't think there was anyone in business back then who did not have to make some decisions. And the decision we made back then was that we are not slowing down. I mean, so from day one, the perspective is very simple. We made a decision right up front that we were going to tackle whatever was coming up. And guys,
double down.
Yeah, we were going to double down. We were going to actually increase. And before I kind of get into what started happening in trajectory of our business, I want to address you guys for a minute specifically of who's listening here tonight, because, you know, Julie and I have been doing these Tuesday night calls for a long time now, well over a year. It's the one thing that she and I have committed to a long time ago, and we've never deviated from Tuesday night calls because we found out that these Tuesday night calls is a way for she and I to get our message out to the world. Okay. I mean, there's different messaging platforms we use. There's different things she and I do, but we figured out that these Tuesday night calls was just one of the top ways that people got to know us. And so as kind of the time went on, as we were doing these Tuesday night calls, we realized there are two types of people that dial in on Tuesday nights or sometimes in a recorded fashion, listening to us. Some of you all here today are our partners. Okay. You know who you are. You are full blown. You are in it with us. And when I say partners, I mean partners. I mean, the goal of our partner driven real estate model is very simple. It's how we do deals. We're an investment company. For those of you that don't know anything about Julie and I, I'm doing this for 22 years. We've done thousands of real estate deals. And for many years, we did deals the way anybody else does deals, right? It's like see deal, do deal. It means find deal, negotiate deal, contract deal, inspect deal, get the money for the deal, buy the deal, do whatever the deal needs requires, and then do the exit strategy or whatever that looked like. And then somewhere along the line, she and I decided, and other people in our world, we kind of started swaying and started figuring out, well, we can only be so big ourselves, okay? We can only be so strong ourselves. So we started changing up a little bit, and we started saying, well, gosh, we could do deals, but what if we find some other people that like need help finding deals? And one thing led to another, and now our whole model is very simple. We are a partner-driven model, meaning we do deals with people across the United States. This deal, this HUD that I literally just got done signing an hour ago with a notary that came right to my place here, that's a West Coast deal with a partner that we've done well over 100 deals with, okay? And so some of you guys here tonight, you're our partners. Some of you are totally brand new. Some of you guys have been with us for a while, and you've done a couple deals with us. Some of you guys have been with us for a long period of time, like our partner here, and we've done well over 100 deals. And Tuesday night is just another way for you to connect with us, okay? You know, and you connect with us as a partner. You have the ability to connect just like Julie and are doing right now. You have the ability to connect with us literally or our team literally on a daily basis. But this is just another way to connect. This is another way to communicate with us. This is another way to kind of be part of the family, as we call it. You know, this is part of this is family hour Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I get you. I get you. For those of you that are partners that are here tonight, I get it, because 22 years ago, when I got in this business and screwed it up to no end, lost all credibility, lost all my money, just like whatever there was to lose, I lost back then. And then some, like I went into the negatives. And then what happened, I started meeting a couple people that ultimately became my mentors. And anywhere they were, I was there. Like, you know, if they were like doing a speech somewhere, or they were doing something, I was there. If they were having lunch somewhere, I'd be like, hey, you mind if I tag along? You know, I was just like feeding off people that were more successful than me. And that ultimately was probably one of the biggest reasons why I climbed out of the big hole I dug for myself in this business. So for those of you that are partners, you know what I'm going to tell you, right? Reset, recommit, recharge, and let's get you to the next level. We're so glad you guys are here, and we feel after tonight, you'll be even stronger than you are right now. Some of y'all here tonight are not yet our partners. You've heard about the partner model. You've checked us out. You've investigated us. You may have been following us for a little time. You might have been following us for a long time. But our goal for you is very simple. We want you to be our partner. You know, that's how strong we feel in the product that we have. You know, Julie and I were doing, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, I think it was today, a meeting earlier with some people, and she literally said, thank you for your business. And that's true. I mean, we take pride in what we do. We don't shy away from it. We don't shy away from promoting it. We don't shy away from saying that we feel like it is the ultimate opportunity. I mean, we just feel with everything we have that the partner model is, at least as far as Julie and I and our team is concerned, it is the ultimate way to become a real estate investor, or to continue your journey as an investor. As a partner, you get coached by us, you get mentored by us, you get the latest technology from us. We help you with lead generation. Obviously, if deals need money, we provide all the capital. If deals don't need money, we show you how to do them to the level that you've never seen, like certain wholesale strategies and what we can do with them. And it's just nobody else does. So we get involved there. If a deal needs construction, we help with that side also. We put them in the market, sell it, split the profits down the middle, 50-50. And for those of you that are kind of on the fence, or have been in the fence in terms of being a partner, we don't want you to be in the fence anymore. So anytime tonight, or if you're listening in a recording capacity, or after tonight, just simply go to www.partnerdriven.com. I'm sure there'll be links somewhere in the chat about there. You could see some of our real life partners that we're doing great, amazing things with. Put your information in there. You know, a team member will touch base with you, and before you know it, you too could be part of our family. And that's how we feel it now. It is literally our family. And we'd love
to. It's our passion. It's our love. It's our family. Yep.
There is no question. No question about that. All right, well, let's get to the topic at hand, guys. The topic at hand today is very simple. It is the State of the Union, you know, and everybody knows what the State of the Union is. Every president, I don't know how long, but for a very long time, every president gives a State of the Union, right? And it is just a global picture of what is taking place in this country, right? And we feel, you know, we feel it's important to do a State of the Union in the environment we're in right now. Because as I mentioned earlier, we are in unprecedented times. We are literally in uncharted times, and it has nothing to do with real estate. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's obviously about the virus, the COVID. And it's something that when I say most of us, every one of us, none of us have lived through what's taking place right now. And let's face it, when you go through times like this, when you go through situations like this, everyone has options, right? I mean, because it's uncharted, there is no like this manual. You know, maybe next time we go through some kind of a virus, we could all look back and say, here's the perfect path through a virus, and this is how you navigate it, and this is how you come out on the other side. Well, guess what? There is no manual for coming through a virus, right? Because none of us, I think the last time there was a major virus, well, I know none of us, it was over 100 years ago, none of us were alive back then. So there is no manual for this. There is no, it's a little bit like raising kids. You know, I got 3 kids myself, and there is absolutely no manual for raising kids, okay? If there was that perfect manual, we'd all read it. So because we're all going through it at the same time, we felt it's important for us to tell you what we are seeing out there, how we are treading the water, how we are navigating through this, and what we're doing to literally grow our business. But that's an important statement, because let's face it, before this virus, there's probably no business owner out there that would say that they would not want to grow their business, right? I mean, before this virus, it doesn't matter whether it was a job you had, whether it was a business you had, in a job, you wanted to get to the next level, make more money, get more promotions, have more, vacations. If you had a business before the virus, you wanted to have more clients, have more customers, have more revenue, right? But when this virus hit, there were some things that were then put on the table that really weren't even on the table before, such as a lot of people slowed down. I mean, a lot of people looked at this virus and their decision was to slow down. Now, by the way, guys, the one thing I want to tell you guys tonight, Julie and I are not here to judge. We're not here to say, well, that's a silly move that person made. We're just kind of here to lay it out. And ultimately, we want you guys to make your own decisions, right? But when the virus hit, people were faced with unprecedented decisions. And some of those decisions I want to slow down, whatever I'm doing, whether it's in my job, whether it's in my occupation. So in school, like I have a daughter that literally just called me, and I'm just thinking, well, guess what? In school, they slow down, they stop. Like here in Georgia, we stopped schooling. I think they did in most of the states. So there were some decisions that people made during this virus that literally put them backwards. I mean, no matter how they're going to navigate through the virus, they knew that they were going to end up in a backwards position because they made that conscious decision, right? They made a conscious decision to slow down. Some people made a conscious decision to stop. Some people made a conscious decision to literally get out, okay? And as Julie and I were talking a couple minutes ago, we made a decision here at Partner Driven as an investment company that we were not going to slow down. And as Julie just mentioned, we decided to do something like that I wasn't even aware too many other people did. And we decided that we were going to double down. And we decided that for a number of reasons. I don't want you to think like we were just like, we're so brave, we're so smart, we're just like everyone's scared, and we're not. Okay, we've had all of those feelings. But here, let me tell you the logic behind increasing actually in our industry. The logic we used was very simple. We saw right away, and if you're in the business now, I mean, you're seeing it. We knew that anytime there is a change in anything, it usually clears the playing field, okay? I mean, that's really what happens when change happens. Like, let's say the market's going up and then naturally goes down. Well, guess what? When it naturally goes down, even without a virus, there's a clearing out of the playing field, right? I mean, it just naturally happens because people, there's a perceived notion that it's tougher. There's a reality of a slowed down market that it is tougher. And let's face it, during tough times, most of the time there's a clearing out of the industry. So part of the reason we decided to double down is that we realized there was going to be a clearing out of this industry also. We knew that a lot of people would start getting out, okay? I mean, it's just because people were getting out of everything. They're still getting out of everything in a lot of cases. So the first thing is we looked at the competition, because as anybody who's in business, there's a couple of factors you need to evaluate when you make decisions. Part of those factors is competition, right? Like, let's say you're trying out for a soccer team and you're a pretty decent player. You show up at the tryouts and there's 600 people trying out. That's a lot of competition. But then across the field, you look at that tryout, for the same type of team, there's only 20 people. Like my butt is walking over there because there is no question less competition is good. Okay. I mean, competition is in itself, there's some positives to it, but I'd rather be in a playing field with a lot less competition. Ultimately, I want to be in a playing field with no competition, okay? So the first reason we decided to double down is we knew there's going to be less competition out there, okay? The second reason that we decided to double down is because right away, when you started looking at the factors that were taking place on the money side in real estate. See, the one thing is you cannot be in real estate and not look at the financial side of it, because just about every real estate deal, there's a financial component in it. Like, you got to borrow money, or you're maybe using other people's money, or maybe you have family money, or maybe you're using cash. So there's not too many real estate transactions that take place without the financial side. What I started realizing very quickly is this virus hit, that also started playing in our favor, okay? Because what happened is this: as the virus started and continues to hit, right? Even in some areas, I guess I'm hearing it's even spreading somewhat. But what happened is, we in this business, as we, like, all of us that borrow money, and if anyone does any kind of volume in this business, we all borrow money. In the end, in the space we're in, maybe some of you don't know this, but the sources of money are all the same. We're all, in essence, borrowing money from the same sources. They just kind of get distributed through different tributaries, right? And the source for, like, the kind of deals we're doing, a lot of single family deals, maybe duplexes, triplexes, almost all of that money in this industry comes from hedge funds, okay? Even when you're going to your local private guy and borrowing money, well, guess what? In the back end, he's getting it from the hedge funds. When you go to the hard money industry, that's almost all hedge fund money. So almost all unorganized and organized money it could be found right back it could be, when you follow the tributaries, it all leads to hedge funds. Well, what happened as this virus started hitting, there were a lot of capital calls. A capital call is when I, as an investor, let's say I invest money in whatever I invest money in, I say I want it back, right? And so the way hedge funds, so many of them get funded, is they get funded from somebody one more up the food chain than them, okay? And a lot of that started literally just coming apart very quickly for a lot of reasons. This virus just kind of forced it to happen at a quicker rate. And so what happened is the money supply, and to this day, the money supply started drying up in this industry, right? So even for the brave ones that were decided to stay around, that didn't run, they started realizing very quickly, oh my gosh. And so they started realizing, oh, I can't borrow money here anymore, or I can't borrow money from this guy anymore, or from this hard money lender anymore. Well, again, from our end, that was another reason to double down, because our money sources are wide open, okay? So first, a natural clearing of event. Number two, an industry caused clearing event, like shortness of money, okay? So as we started looking at the landscape of this industry, we started realizing that there's going to be less and less and less players in this, okay? And even the players that were sticking around, because most players in this industry, they go to these conventional money sources, even the ones that were sticking around, they became kind of landlocked, okay? They couldn't really do what they were doing before. So, the competition started going down, down, down. Here's another reason why we decided to double down. And this next one, everybody knows about it. Some of y'all on this call are actually experiencing it. We started realizing very quickly there's a lot of more motivation from sellers, right? And again, I don't have to spend too much time talking about it. Everybody listening to us, that's like, well, no kidding, right? I mean, COVID. Remember, as an investor, what are we looking for? We're looking for motivated sellers, right? It's like a catch-all word. And what exactly is a motivated seller? There's a lot of definitions for a motivated seller, but the bottom line is motivated seller is somebody that needs to get out. I mean, that is a motivated seller. They need to get out, and a lot of times they don't have the wherewithal to do it the conventional way. Like, they don't have the 60 grand they need to fix this house so a realtor could list it, right? Or they don't have the 5 months to sit on that property so they could sell it in the conventional way. And what are those motivating factors? Well, we all know what the motivating factors are, right? We all are aware of them. It's like, it could be a loss of a job. It could be a death in the family. It could be an upsizing, right? More people moving in. It could be a downsizing, like kids moving out. It could be a job change, right? All of a sudden your employer calls and says, you're fired or you got to move. It could be a divorce. So those are the motivating factors that create, in the end, good real estate deals, real estate deals that have equity in them, have an upside to us as investors. Well, what happened during this COVID? This became a motivating factor. It wasn't one that we planned on. I don't think anybody got into real estate. A lot of people got in real estate to find motivated sellers. Nobody got in real estate to find motivated COVID sellers, right? Because nobody even knew about COVID 4 months ago. Well, guess what?
That to happen either, really.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. But COVID became a motivating factor. COVID in of itself, forget everything, forget divorce, forget death, forget sickness, forget kids moving in, moving out. COVID itself, even by people who were not affected by COVID. See, usually a motivated seller, this is very interesting. So follow me on what I'm telling you here. A motivated seller is someone who's directly affected by an event. COVID became a motivating factor, and it still is, to people who are not affected by it. So obviously, if you are affected by COVID, you get more motivated, right? I mean, you might get sick, you might get worried, you might have to quarantine yourself, you might potentially can't go back to work, you can't potentially open your business. But COVID it's one of a kind motivating factors, because it started motivating for people who aren't even affected by it and who never will be affected on it, just because it's what we call blood in the street, right? When you see blood in the street from your neighbor, you naturally start thinking, uh-oh, it's going to happen to me. And when that happens, follow me on this, when that happens, not only is there a lot of motivation, but it gets spread very quickly. Okay, so COVID itself created, because what do people do in times like this? They want to get liquid. I mean, that's really the bottom line. When you're not certain of your financial future, when you're not certain if your employer is going to be around, some people were getting these PPP loans, right? And guess what? Some employees were literally praying that their company gets a PPP loan so they can go forward. Well, guess what? A lot of companies never got the loans, right? So people became, whether they were directly affected by it or indirectly affected, almost everybody started thinking the same thing. I got to get liquid. What if I can't work for the next 6 months? What if I can't open the doors to my business for the next 6 months? What if I can't get a customer for the next 6 months? Well, what do? You got to get liquid. You got to have some funds, right? Well, there's a couple ways to make money out there, right? But the interesting thing is, again, this is very unique to COVID. Because of how it was motivating people needed to make big money, right? I don't think too many people said, well, if I sell my iPhone, that'll keep me going. No, what's it worth? $200? That's not going to pay the mortgage, right? So people needed to get, because this obviously, it became very clear, this was an extended event. People needed to make $5,000 chunks, $20,000 chunks, $100,000 chunks. Well, if you think about an average family in the United States, how can an average family make $20,000? Can't really do it, right? What's an average family gonna do? They have to sell assets, right? Well, what kind of assets can you sell? Again, you could sell the little stuff. You could sell your silverware, but that ain't gonna get you paying a car payment or a mortgage payment or tuition fee. And so really, in the bottom line, when an average American only has one or two assets that they could have, A, gotten the kind of money they needed to, B, gotten it in the time they needed to, right? So you see how all these things started happening? So that became another factor why we doubled down, because we realized right away, gosh, not that we're sitting here taking advantage of COVID, we're just taking advantage of the opportunity that it created in our industry, right? And so we decided to double down, because we realized there's going to be people that need our help. I mean, there's going to be people that are going to be literally praying at night, who can I get rid of this freaking fixer-upper? I can't sell it through a real estate agent because nobody will qualify for a mortgage, right? So we kind of, to a certain degree, took on this, our industry almost got pushed to the forefront of helping people, okay? And of creating things they couldn't have otherwise created, right? So that was another reason why we decided to double down. So less competition, tougher and tougher money supplies to get financing, more and more and more pent up demand. And as we started looking at the situation, we said, you know what? This is the time. This is the time that we have to really double down. Now, here's another interesting thing that a lot of people, some of you guys listening is here tonight, you're experiencing this. And, you know, you hate to talk about it like this, but some industries just aren't going to come back. They're just not going to come back, at least the way they were before, right? I mean, there are some industries that have been literally flipped upside down because of what's taking place, that people are going to need to reinvent themselves. I mean, you know, you kind of sort of hate to say it, but it is absolutely, it's an absolute reality. Some industries have been wiped out. Again, this is not necessarily an awful thing because it happens naturally all the time. You know, remember with the VHS tapes, right? Do you remember the white pages? Do you remember the record players? Okay. So the industries get wiped out all the time. New industries come in, and it's what's called evolution. It's what, you know, technology and all this. The other reason we doubled down is we knew real estate would not get wiped out. We knew that we didn't double down knowing that like, ooh, like this industry, like so many, like other industries are going to get like knocked out. And so we better like do something for the next 30 or 60 days because like real estate's going to disappear, right? We doubled down because we knew this industry has stability. There is nothing that we see from the virus that says, oh, real estate, you're out. You know, you're shut down. There's never going to be another house sold or never going to be another house bought. So we were comfortable in doubling down because we were very comfortable in the notion that this industry is going to stay around. It wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going to be, you know, it wasn't going to be shut down, you know, and let's face it, a lot of industries were shut down. Some will continue to be shut down. Some will be shut down for an extended period of time. Not only is real estate going to be around for a long time, it's not going to get, no one's going to shut down in real estate. That you just can't. It's just, there's no reason to. I think the closest we came during this pandemic, I got a call from one of my partners a couple months back, right when we were rolling. And he said, hey, we're dead, Pete. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes like, we're dead. They shut the whole city down. I mean, they shut down the courthouse. They shut down the closing attorneys are done. We're dead. And for those and this is the first time we had experienced that. Remember, this first time we're going through this virus, literally within 24 to 48 hours, they figured out how to pull titles. Closing attorneys figured out how to close remotely. And literally within 48 hours, the closest we ever got to getting shut down here, literally within 48 hours, people reinvented themselves, figured it out, and continued. So as we looked at this about us doubling down and tripling down, it became very obvious why we wanted to do it. Then we started looking at it from a different perspective. Because, you know, when you're making business decisions, you also got to look at the downside. Okay, here's all the upside: less competition, tighter money for our competitors, a higher motivation level, industry is not going anywhere, it's going to stick around. But then we said, let's look at the downside. Like, what's the bad thing about doubling down? And I could tell you, I think to this day, we haven't found one. I mean, we can't think of a reason why anyone in this industry would, for any reason, want to slow down. Now, do we hear excuses from other people? Yes, I'm sure Julie could rattle off 100 reasons why people right now are like, but we're kind of sticking with our side of it this time. You know, again, we're not picking on anyone. But aside from like people that made up these, and I really see them as to a certain degree, a lot of false reasons why not to move forward. There was no downside to moving forward. There was absolutely no and to this day, a lot of times I'll get challenged, or a lot of times I'll ask people, okay, give me a legitimate reason why in this industry you would want to slow down. And I just can't think of one. Now, the only exception I would make to that is there are certain segments of real estate that are tougher than other segments right now. And again, that's the obvious stuff. Like right now, if I owned like 50 office complexes, I'd be a little bit worried, right? Like before COVID, Julie and I were in a 10,000 square foot building. Post-COVID, we're in a 2,000 square foot building. Why? Because we realized when our people were working remotely, nothing bad happened. Like nothing bad happened. Matter of fact, we realized the opposite. When our people were working remotely, we got better. They
Yeah,
got
they were
strong.
happier, healthier. You know, too, Pete, another thing that I want to add is you don't always, especially in this industry, you don't always want to get caught up in the hype. You I remember sitting there with you, for those of you that are on this call right now that are in industries where you're worried about your business. I'm very sorry about that. I'm sorry for you, I'm sorry for the situation. But, and I have different mentors, different friends in this business. And when this first stuff started to hit, and, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I have a different mindset. Do you know what everybody told me and Peter to do? They said, get rid of your employees, get rid of everything, cut cost. I said, no. I believed in this business. Peter believed in this business enough to keep going like we did and to double down. Wasn't going to turn over and lay over and just let it all go, right? So, and thank goodness for that, because, these people's been with us for a long time, but this is one of the only industries that I even know about where this is even possible, Peter. Peter, do you mind if I share a story about the other day?
Do it.
So, not real estate related, guys, but by the way, my daughter is going to be a senior this year. And so I don't know. And guys, go ahead and put it in the chat box. But do y'all know what it's like to take a senior, your baby, to go get senior pictures, right? I'm taking her to get senior pictures, and I'm so excited because she's finally a senior. We're going to get these pictures. And I walk into the high school, which by the way has been closed for since all this happened. And they're prepared. They've done all the precautionary things. And the individuals or this company that was there, they were taking the photos. It was just just this sad face, right? And, you don't often think about all the different companies that are affected in this, but this man literally it was the owner there that was kind of running the show. And he's literally owned this company for 20 years and has almost every contract to take photos in all of the schools, not just senior photos, but elementary, middle school, high school, right? And he's sitting there and we just kind of get in a conversation. He's like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. If the schools don't open up, how am I going to bring my team in to take pictures? And that was a business that I never even thought about that would be affected by this. Then he asked me, he goes, well, how are you doing in all of this? And I'll be honest with you guys, I felt a little bad because, I was like, well, I'm in real estate. And he's like, well, I know real estate's been hit hard because of what you see on the news and what you see everywhere else. And I'm like, well, not really, because I'm an investor and I buy properties and my goal is to help people. I knew the other day when I took my daughter, and this has been going on for months, all this stuff has been going on, but my goodness, when I took her the other day to have those pictures, boy, did I feel blessed to have learned the knowledge that I know now to be able to build this life for my family, and just like everything that Peter's talking about, right? It wasn't the time to quit. Like some industries it is, because what's he going to do, being a in-person picture, taking, company at schools? How could you reinvent yourself from that? Maybe you guys have ideas. I couldn't think of anything when I went home, but it's been on my mind for a couple of days now. But all I can think about is how blessed I am to be in real estate, how blessed I am to be a real estate investor. And honestly, that I'm actually able to be put in front of people that are out here in this world that I can, possibly help for all the reasons that Peter, just said, right? This business is more about making money. I do not ever want to benefit off somebody's misfortunes at all. Okay. But this is my opinion of what's going on now. I honestly think and believe things will get a little bit worse for individuals that own real estate. And if there's opportunities in life that you're going to miss. This is not one that you want to miss. And I'd hate to call it an opportunity because, again, like I said, I never want to gain off of somebody's misfortune. I hope you can see that in me, right? But if you've ever thought about getting in this business as far as a real estate investor, really going out there and solving problems, you need to start learning now, because the ripple effect, okay, hasn't even really hit yet. Pre-foreclosures are not at the all-time high that they're going to be. They're going to be. There's no way it's not going to happen, right? And just when Peter said the lack of competition, I mean, a good friend of ours, like owned a lending company, had 25 loans in the pipeline. They all got cut off in one day, and business shut down. I was thinking, goodness, that I wasn't in that business too, right? But real estate is been around since forever, right? Real estate is one of those things, land and houses and everything's never going to go away. My question to you is look at what you're doing right now. Are you affected by what's going on right now? And I'm sorry if you are, and I really pray for the best of your family, but I believe that now's the time for you to step outside the box a little bit and do what's necessary. Take care of yourself and your family. I really hope that nothing gets worse. I really hope everything gets better, because this business is great when the market's high. It's good when the market's low too, okay? But I don't ever want to be in the position again where I'm working for somebody else and one day I come in and there's a black slip, or I've got to go get on unemployment. That's not something I ever want to do again. Okay. So, I know we're, talking about a lot of different things tonight, but my encouragement for you is not to be in that place ever again. And it isn't worth it. It's not where you want to be. Maybe it is, but not for me. I want to control my destiny. I want to be able to believe in what I'm doing. And that's, I guess the theme of tonight is doubling down, which people thought, I even talked to other individuals, mentors that thought we were crazy for doing that. But, when you believe in something, you either do it or you don't.
Yeah, no question, Julie. Ultimately, guys, here's what we wanted to get across to you guys. We wanted to get across to you guys what Julie and myself and our staff, our other partner, what we're doing and how we're treating this. And the reality is, when we said we wanted to double down, at this point, I think we've more than doubled down. We have, and guys, make no mistake about it. We took a hit. We absolutely took a hit the month this thing hit. I think the first month it hit, we had a 35% drop in our business. Okay. The next month, but that was, by the way, that's when we decided to double down. Who doubles down when their business is like we didn't glide. We just took a dive. And it was in the middle of that dive that we said, no. We're not diving with this dive. We're doubling down. So the first month it hit, we had a huge, 35, 40% drop. The next month we stabilized. And the last month we had a record-setting month. Okay. So everything we've just been discussing is a reality, guys. And the cool thing is it's a reality, not just for us, but for our partners. We're doing not only more deals than we've ever done with our partners, but we're doing more deals with different partners. So it's not like it's just one person. And, we do have some superstars in our organization, and, that's how it is in anything in life. But we are literally closing more deals with more partners in more locations with different stuff than we ever have. And by the way, guys, here's the other thing that's taking place. I want to put one other fact into this thing that's very important. The other reason why it made sense to double down, remember, I said there was a clearing of the playing field, but there wasn't a total clearing of the playing field. What happened is, and you guys all know this also, there's plenty of people with a lot of money, right? There's plenty of people that don't need to go to hard money. There's plenty of people that are not afraid. There's plenty of people. Majority, yes. For what I said, all those factors were for majority. But there's also a minority out there who had plenty of money, plenty of wherewithal, plenty of patience for something to happen. And they actually got in the business. So what does that mean to a savvy investor like us and our partners who are able to go out there and find unbelievable deals? We have buyers. We got buyers that have been sitting on the sideline, getting ready for something to take place, right? Because there's buyers that out there that are waiting for things to happen. And these buyers that none of us even knew about before existed had jumped in. And the cool thing about these buyers, because they were like us, we were not waiting for the playing field to clear. They were waiting for playing field to clear based upon whatever would take place. And because they have plenty of cash, and because they just kind of all jumped in, their skill set is not really doing what we do, go find amazing deals. Their skill set is just, hey, go, let me buy something. You know what that means? They're willing to pay more than the investors were before. So there are some strategies right now, like the wholesale strategies, why we love so much. It's one of the strategies we use. Our buyers are paying more for our properties.
And they're going under contract faster than I've seen, like, ever.
That's exactly right.
I mean, it's hard to attribute that to anything. And the crazy thing too is somebody had put in the chat for me something about, what about your single family homes that have been rehabbed? Interest rates are low, are super, super low. There's still buyers out there buying properties that aren't even investors right now, right? So we've not slowed down on necessarily on that side either. I mean, you got to buy right, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you're 100% right. I remember being in a meeting 2 years ago. I was actually in, I believe, Sacramento, California. And I was in a room where everybody in that room was an absolute millionaire. And they all sit around and joked about how they were all going to sit there and sit on their money and wait for prices to go down. Prices are going down a little bit, and they are coming out of the woodwork, just like Peter said.
And so another reason to double down is that not only is it, old kind of the case that I think I've laid out was mostly focused on the front end, right? Less competition, tighter money, more motivation. But the interesting thing is the back end, the exit strategies, which you can't live without exit strategy. You can have all the great stuff in the world. If you can't get out of your deals, however, you're in trouble. The interesting thing, the phenomenon that's taking place right now is the back end has actually gotten better for a lot of reasons. On the investor side, like Julie said, there was people on the sideline that were waiting for something to happen. They're in the game now. So there's plenty of buyers for investment deals. And they're willing to even pay more because they know their strength is not finding good deals. Just before, they didn't want to be part of all the competition. Now the competition is cleared. They've jumped in. They're paying. They're even willing to overpay a little bit. So that's why we're making more money there. And because on the retail side, there's that phenomenon of lower interest rates. There's a lot of opportunities for us on the back end, retail end. So any way you look at it, guys, it's pretty obvious. Now, does that mean you have to take part of it? No, absolutely not. Some people, you could have a truck in front of you, stop and throw out $1 million, and some people will stop and pick up some money, and some people will figure out 30 different ways why not to do it, right? But make no mistake about it. This is the time. This is the industry. This is the opportunity. You can't put a hole in what we're doing right now. I mean, you just can't. The only kind of things that we're seeing is that some people are using a reason of what's taking place in their personal life because of the virus affect the decisions of what they're doing here. And I get it. Look, there's some legitimate reasons. I'm not going to be a judge of everybody, but I will tell you, if you're one of those people, be careful, because usually it's something's not working what you used to do, and don't use a reason not to do something that's working as a reason not to be successful there because of something that's not working. It's kind of like, oh, I just lost my job. Okay, you lost your job. So you got to figure out something that's working. No, but I lost my job and no, I'm just going to sit back. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? and it's totally counterintuitive. Totally counterintuitive. When things are bad on this side, for whatever reason, you lost your job, you're unemployed, your business is, I get it. These are actual effects of what's taking place. But on this side, you got something that's working. So this is why we double down. This is why we double down. Because we didn't necessarily have things that stopped working, but I promise you, if I was in a conventional job and I saw the writing in the wall of the industry I'm in, man, I'm jumping in on this time, I'm jumping on this side, and I'm doubling down. And so that's what we encourage you guys to do today. We encourage that whether you're an existing partner already or you're thinking of being a partner or thinking about getting in this real estate, you know, I just encourage that when tonight's over here in a couple of minutes, really think about it. Really take a long peek of a look at what you're doing. What kind of an upside does it have? Is there an opportunity to potentially double down? There may be in what you're doing. Maybe in what you're doing, you can do, maybe you're the owner of Zoom, right? What we're using today. There's no question.
Wish I'd have bought stock in that in December.
Yeah, no question. If you're maybe a high person at Zoom or an employee of Zoom, that's a great industry to be in. So we're not saying everything out there is a disaster. That's not the point. But we are saying this is an industry that it's worth doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. And just like 3 or 4 months ago when we first saw what was taking place and we said, let's double down. Just a couple hours ago, Julie and I and Rafa were in a call and we were, again, let's double down again. Let's do it again. Let's get to the next level. You know, it's a fantastic time to be in this industry. And we are so fortunate that some time ago, we kind of swerved to this partner-driven model. Because not only do we, like Julie said, we feel like we're out there genuinely helping people when it comes to real estate. It's really cool. Like we're helping our partners too now. I mean, this is like when I say, you know, literally when our new partners start with us, it's like, hey, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Because that's what we feel like this partner-driven community has become. It's become our family. You know, when our partners visit, they stay at our places. When we go visit some of them, we hang out, we do fun things, and so our partners are more than our partners. They're literally, it's like, hey, it's family. And if you're not yet our partner, guys, we'd love for you to become a partner. We feel the partner-driven model it was an amazing model before this, but guess what? When I said we were doubling down, we didn't just like double down in like we wanted to do more deals, which we are. We're doing way more deals than even before this virus. But we doubled down internally, like what we're providing and doing with our partners and for our partners. You know, when everyone's saying we got to lay off, like Julie said, people are like, lay off, cut. You know, so many gurus out there, they're cutting, they're laying off their staff and all this. Guess what? We are hiring. We are bringing more people on board to support our partners more. You know, we have an amazing technology for our partners that allows them right from the comforts of their own home and their cell phones to find amazing real estate deals that other investors can't find. So we're not only doubling down in terms of what we're doing as an investment company, we're doubling down, seriously doubling down and tripling, quadrupling down on what we're doing for our partners. And we have some amazing things planned for them. We cannot wait to go back to live events, which
I cannot wait to see everybody again.
I know we used to do these every couple months and they were phenomenal. They started out of one little room in our office when our partner model started, then to a bigger room in our office, to a bigger location. And the last partner-driven live event we did before COVID, we're in the biggest, you know, we're in a convention center in one of their big rooms. And so we here at Partner Driven cannot wait to be able to safely have live events again, so we can hang out with our partners and spend amazing weekends with them, and just, you know, so they can meet the people that are out there behind the scenes, you know, working with Julie and I, and you know, making us look better than we probably deserve to look a lot of times. We have an incredible staff, guys, here. Everybody at the Partner Driven internal family is got one focus, and that is our partners. That's it. That is our, you know, even when they're out there, like I think like a week or two ago, right? One of our, was it Laura and Patty, right? One of our one of our staff here went out and got a deal for us, right? I think you were on vacation and they went out there and they secured a deal for us directly. But guess what? 98% of their time is spent on helping partners. And so that's what we do. We are a partner.
You're right. Sorry, Peter.
All right.
My internet was going out. But you're so right. I mean, one thing, the reason why, they do that is because we want them to understand exactly what it's like to be like you guys on the other end. I started thinking, I don't need to go on appointments anymore if our staff does it just as good as we do, right? Because, by the way, guys, we still do deals. We don't just talk about doing deals. We do them ourselves. When you know how to do deals, why in the world would you ever stop, right? But while we're talking about the partners, and I know we're running here at the end, I do want to give a shout out to a couple people today. One of the biggest blessings in my life is seeing people start this business and get their first deal done. Okay. As those of you that follow us on social media over the last month or so, it's like we're closing deals every day. I mean, literally every day. So today I'm working with a lady who got her second house under contract. She's only been with us 3 weeks. I mean, and she came to us and has followed the program to a T, day in, day out, day in, day out. Watched every video, has been on every call we ever did. And she's probably going to stand to make, I'm not even going to speculate. I'm just proud she got houses under contract in that short amount of time. Have another gentleman I'm working with, been with us, 4 months. And he got his first deal under contract. Everybody moves at different speeds, right? Everybody learns at different speeds. My point is do you want to be like him and do you want to be like her? Because I promise you, we care about you, but nobody's going to care as much as you do. In my personal opinion, now's the time to either blank or get off the pot, right?
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm just glad you said it. Well, guys, listen, we're doubling down. We're doubling down month in and month out, and we hope you guys do the same. It's a fantastic time to be in this industry. We'd love to have more people join us at the partner level. And for those of you that are ready to partner with us, where you benefit from everything we've done here for the last 22 years, you benefit off our knowledge, our relationship, the family community, help with lead gen, technology, obviously our financial wherewithal, the back-end construction. If you're ready to do that, you just simply need to go to www.partnerdriven.com. Learn more about our partner model, put your information in there, a team member will call you, and before you know it, you too could be doubling down in this industry. So from my end, that's all I got. I look forward to seeing you guys next time, same place. Julie, what's your last word of wisdom?
My last word of wisdom is if you have the financial wherewithal to purchase items from your local businesses, shop local, everybody, if you have the opportunity to do that, because that's going to really help our local economy. Blessings to everybody. Have an awesome night. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.